You've probably heard it before. People say, just start a side hustle, as if the moment you decide to work nights and weekends, money will just start showing up. But here's a truth most people won't say. Most side hustles fail, and not because people are lazy or they didn't want it badly enough. They fail because the way people approach side hustles and how they structure it can set it up for failure. People stack extra work on top of already really full and busy lives, giving up rest, family time, and mental space. And after months of effort and time put in, the return is often shockingly small. That creates frustration, self-doubt, and eventually quitting. So the real issue isn't effort, it's strategy. In this video, we're not talking about hustle culture or motivation. We're talking about why the typical approach doesn't work. And by the end of the video, you'll learn what it actually does if your goal is sustainable income, not burnout. This isn't advice, just sharing insights so you can make your own decisions. One of the fastest ways to kill a side hustle is to start 5 of them and try to juggle them all. Each one seems doable on its own, an hour here, a few nights there, but it can all add up quick. Every additional hustle creates more decisions, more learning curves to figure out, and mental energy. Instead of getting good at one thing, you end up staying mediocre at many. It might feel productive because you're busy, but being busy isn't the same as progress. Progress requires depth and consistent focus. When you split your energy across multiple directions, nothing gets enough attention to break through the initial beginner phase. So results stay small, motivation begins to drop, and eventually everything stalls. Side hustles don't fail because people quit too early. They fail because people never commit deeply enough to one thing to generate consistency and see momentum. Many side hustles can just turn into a second job. Driving, delivering, hourly freelancing, these all have one thing in common. When you stop working, the income stops too. It's trading time for money instead of building leverage. Time-based income feels safe because it's predictable and easier to find or start, but it's fragile. It caps your upside potential and ties your progress directly to how many hours you can give. And eventually, life pushes back, energy drops, schedules change, and burnout sets in. Sustainable side income needs some form of leverage, skills, systems, assets, or processes that allow effort today to pay off later and over time. If your hustle only works when you're actively working, it's not building freedom, and it may be just a road leading to exhaustion. Most people start a side hustle with a lot of enthusiasm and hope, but no real roadmap. They haven't thought about how they would define what success looks like 6 months from now, let alone a year. There are no milestones, no scaling plan, or clarity on what changes when they improve. So effort feels random. Lots of work is put in, but it's hard to know if it matters. There's progress, but you can't tell if it's really leading anywhere. Every sustainable income stream has a path, a starting point, a growth phase, and some form of leverage at the end. Without that path, motivation dies eventually. Not because people are weak, but because there needs to be direction, systems, and milestones. If you can't explain how today's effort turns into future income, your side hustle will slowly fade. People often say they failed at side hustles because they ran out of time. That's almost never true. Ultimately, they ran out of energy. After a full day of work and responsibilities, what's left isn't focus or energy, it's willpower. And willpower can be random and unreliable. Side hustles that require creativity, complex decisions, or constant motivation at night are unfortunately set up to fail. The most effective side hustles work with your energy, not against it. They rely on simple tasks, repeatable systems, and momentum instead of inspiration. If your plan only works when you feel motivated at 9 p.m., it won't survive real life, as it will be hard to keep that consistency. Energy is the real constraint, not time. Side hustles that last usually start with skills, not platforms. Platforms change, algorithms can shift, rules update, but skills compound. When you build a valuable skill, writing, sales, editing, analysis, automation, you gain flexibility. That same skill can be freelance, productized, turned into consulting, or built into a system. You're no longer chasing quick money. You're increasing your economic value. That shift changes everything. Instead of asking, how do I make extra cash? You start asking, how do I become harder to replace? Or how can I level up so I have more value I'm able to give? And that's where leverage begins. Most people underestimate the power of staying in one direction longer than average. One focused effort over 12 months beats 5 half attempts every time. When you stick with something long enough, skills stack. You start to learn, adjust, and improve. Processes simplify and results start compounding. The problem is that this phase often feels boring and can feel like it lasts forever. Progress is slow before it accelerates. So people switch gears right before the momentum appears. Successful side hustles aren't always better ideas. They're often just the result of someone staying consistent when so many others have moved on. Depth and focus beats variety almost every time. The goal of a side hustle isn't just to create more work. It's less work in the future. Side hustles that succeed build something that continues after the effort is done with systems, content, products, or processes. This doesn't mean instant passive income. It means effort put in today that reduces effort tomorrow. If your hustle doesn't improve your future time situation, it's not solving the real problem. Delayed freedom beats immediate cash. That's the difference between something that survives and something that burns out. Before starting any side hustle, ask one simple question. Does this make my future easier or harder? If it only adds work, stress, and time pressure, and you don't see how it could fit into your longer-term plan, it's not a solution, it's a distraction. If it builds skills, leverage, or systems that can improve your options over time, that could definitely be worth pursuing. Most people don't need another hustle. They need a better direction, progress that compounds, not just effort that exhausts. That's what actually works. Please like and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you on the next one.